It's the fact that you're an African American. What is the difference between you and David Duke?
The difference? Oh, that's a good question. No one has enslaved David Duke's people for over 400 years. David Duke's people, the white people, have not been in slavery under us, chattel slavery. David Duke's people, the white people, have not been robbed of their names, their language, their religion, their culture, their God, their folkways, their mores, their norms, and indeed robbed of the very power of their own being. So David Duke's people are in power. My people have experienced an African Holocaust, genocide, and we're being set upon and seized upon on a daily and consistent basis. One of the 7 points is reparations, 7 points of action to go after reparations for black people, fighting police brutality and harassment and the murder of our people. David Duke's people don't experience that. There is no comparison.
But critics will say he spreads hate, and so do you.
Sir, I can't be responsible for what the critics say. I can only be responsible for the actual facts.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
In my mind.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah, they do. Good afternoon. Freedman Media back again live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And we didn't get the Spotify nod today. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it is what it is. I've got to switch everything in a minute anyway. I don't even know if I want to put it on this hard drive, but that's a long story. We ain't gonna talk about that. That's housekeeping stuff. But Wednesday afternoon, I believe it is. Wednesday afternoon. I get lost with the days and stuff, y'all. Let me get this music down. I'm trying to shorten up the intro. I got a comment on one of my YouTube streams, and this dude said, your intro is just too long. It's entirely too long. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I only have it that long because I have stuff to do, but you know, sometimes I don't have stuff to do and I can get in here a little bit sooner. So I was cognizant of that suggestion that I shorten it up, but he didn't really suggest that I shorten it up. He was just telling me that it was too long. So there is a difference there. There's a difference. You can tell somebody that you don't like something, but you're really not telling them not to do it. You're just telling them that you don't like it. And he doesn't like the long intro. So I get it. You know, and he ain't gonna have to worry about that no more. I'm gonna shorten the intro up, and I'm gonna think of more improvisational ways to actually bring some distance between the start of the stream and when I come in, because I've got some things I got to do. I got to send out some shares and stuff like that. And if I had somebody else doing that type of stuff, then I probably wouldn't concern myself with it as much, but I don't have anybody sending the shares out to the necessary spaces. So that's why I do it. And I use the beginning of the stream to do so, because you really can't send the stream out before the stream starts. So you have to wait till it starts to be able to share it. So that's why the intro is as long. And I don't even know his name, not that it really matters. But I took his suggestion and I shortened the intro up today. So we are off and walking. Speaking of off and walking, the president has said he's going to walk for president again, because he don't run. Joe Biden don't run. Them little trots that they show when they put the camera on and make it look like he's jogging and stuff, that's not really anything but just for the cameras. Joe is in pain. Once he does those little trots. He'd be in the auto plants, you know, the airplane hangars, or maybe even out on the White House lawn. When he does that little trot, you know, everybody thinks Joe's in good shape. Joe's not in good shape. Y'all know Joe's not in good shape. And I don't even know why anybody's trying to act like Joe's in good shape. Joe can't run for president. He has to walk for president in orthopedic shoes with special insoles. And they're probably heated. Joe's shoes are probably heated. He probably got to keep his feet warm. You know, he probably got them compression socks on. I mean, there's all kind of stuff going on with Joe Biden. But he said he's going to run for president again, and we'll see. We'll see. Because I know he's probably already thinking like, oh, they got your boy, and he ain't gonna have no competition on the other side. But I don't think they got Orange Julius. I think Orange Julius is coming back. To run again. Okay. I think the charges aren't going to stick. I think he might truly be a Teflon Don. They ain't had nothing else to be able to make him stick. Now he got 34 charges and he didn't spend an hour in jail. Somebody puts 34 charges on you. The next thing you going to hear when you get out of jail is,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Because you've been in there for a long time. You had 34 charges dropped on you. 34 charges. So you went in for some years, right? Donald Trump didn't spend an hour in a jail cell with 34 charges. Anybody out here get 34 charges put on them, they going inside. They going inside for a minute. And the next thing they gonna hear is,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
That's all they gonna hear, because that's when they coming out. I'm telling you, you not gonna get 34 charges put on you and you sleep in your bed that night, unless you somebody like Donald Trump. And that's what let me know they really didn't have nothing. 34 charges, and he didn't spend an hour in a jail cell. Still pissed off. He was pissed off they made him do the perp walk, pissed off all the cameras, pissed off all kinds of stuff. You know Donald Trump didn't have to strip down. They trying to make it seem like Donald Trump had to strip down, lift his sack, and cough. They didn't make Donald Trump do all that. They know good and well. So he's probably going to run again, and he's going to run against Joe, and it's just going to be two old-ass niggas running for president. Again, that's it. Unless somebody can slip in there and throw something off on one of them and end up taking over their spots. But I believe that that's the 2024 ticket. Biden and Trump. Once again, Biden and Trump. He say keeping Kamala, which let's let you know he ain't trying to do nothing different. He ain't trying to do nothing. And that's going to be a whole nother series. Right, today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the ethnocide of Washtenaw County, because it's really just going to be the intro. And the ethnocide of Washtenaw County is literally the disengaging, the dissolution, the disappearing of Black Americans in Washtenaw County. Washtenaw County has shifted Black folks all the way around to now it's starting to spin cycle them out, and they going out into Wayne County. They're going out into Monroe County. Some of them even taking the risk of going out into Livingston County, but a lot of them going into Oakland County. I know people lived in Washtenaw going to Macomb County. Black folks have gotten spun out of Washtenaw County. And that's why this series is going to be the ethnocide of Washtenaw County. Brother John Henry in here. What's good with you? So anybody that checks out the live, I appreciate you. Anybody that checks out the playback, I appreciate you. I always say that. I'm always going to say that because I'm always appreciative. You know, I hear this thing with YouTube's going on. YouTube's losing some juice somewhere. I don't know exactly what's happening, but they say YouTube's really, really losing some juice. And a lot of people are dropping their streams, going to other platforms. Right now, I don't garner that much support on YouTube, so I'm going to stay pat. You know, if I lose 30, 40 views on a video, that might be everybody. So it doesn't really matter to me right now. You know, the content going to stay strong. It's going to stay right, but I don't know exactly what's happening to YouTube. So, you know, working on getting some other platforms to be able to distribute, you know, the message. But right now it's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and we're gonna run it up. You know, we're going to run it up. So I am seeing a huge, my brother John Henry, I am seeing a huge turn. It says I'm not on Facebook. I wonder why I'm not on Facebook. That's wild. Did Facebook cut me off? Don't tell me Facebook done cut the stream off. Oh, it says I'm on there now. I don't know. Okay. So you got me looking janky, man. You know, there's only going to be 3-4 y'all in here, so don't be knocking my views down, dog. Don't be knocking my views down. It's always us. It's always us. Nah, I ain't gonna be on that tip, man. I've been watching some casts or listening to some casts. I'm gonna really be watching them because I don't have to, there's nothing to view. Some casters talking about some events that have gone on recently, and people didn't act right. Some people got invited to speak at an event, and instead of going to the event, then they basically they stayed to the crib and watched the fight. You know, the event and the fight happened the same night, and they supposed to be up at the event speaking, you know, on Black activism, and I guess they stayed at the Airbnb and watched the fight. That's real raggedy. That's real raggedy for some unity, for some Black activism. Somebody bring you in town to speak. The least you could do is speak, man. Set the DVR, man. Set the DVR. You can watch the fight after you come back to the Airbnb. Just set the DVR. You know, you can DVR pay-per-view stuff. A lot of people don't know you can DVR stuff. You know, I tried to tell somebody that. They told me I was a lie, man. I was like, I don't need to be on for the fight. I got the fight set, and I got the DVR set. You can't DVR no pay-per-view of him. Like, dog, I'm buying it. I should motherfuckers should have to fight right in my living room as much as I pay for it. So I don't have to be at the spot to watch the fight. I can DVR it. And they could have DVR'd it too and just went to the event that they were being paid to be at. Yeah. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. I mean, they shouldn't have missed out on their responsibilities, you know. But it was a good fight. I'm not going to defend anybody by, you know, going against their obligations. You know, that's just not a good thing. Because if I pay you to come to an event and you don't come to the event, and you stay home in the space that I pay for you to be in for the weekend, shit. Next thing you're gonna hear,
Y'all want to see a dead body?
yeah. That's the next thing. Probably. I mean, they was out of town, you know, somebody might have had a jailbroken fire stick, whatever, you know, however they was going to get it in, man, you know, they got flew out to do an event and they didn't do the event. So, you know, piss on them. You know, I don't even know who it was. I haven't heard that part of the conversations yet, but somebody tried to put it on my men's up in Detroit. No, that was not them. So, you know, I got in the chat and said something on that. No, it was not them. I knew it wasn't them. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So this ethnocide in Washtenaw County is serious, simply because I've seen so many people leave Washtenaw County just based on getting priced out the game, the mistreatment of, you know, and I know y'all say this, African Americans, you know, just Black Americans in general have been mistreated around this county. And a lot of it comes through the politicking too. A lot of the mistreatment comes from the politicking. And this is why the Vote Blue No Matter Who crew can't get me no more. I can't be Vote Blue no matter who no more. It's just not in me. Not anymore. I tried giving the Democratic Party many chances. And all they've shown me is they want to look out for everybody else but us. But they want them votes though. And I know there's still a few out here who's going to vote blue no matter who. So I'm not here to talk negatively about them. People going to do what they're going to do. I get it. People going to do what they're going to do. But for me, I've got to vote my conscience. I got to vote my interests. I got to vote what's going to help us move our needle forward efficiently. And voting blue no matter who is not doing it. Because, you know, I'm not saying that all Democratic, you know, politicians are bad. We've had some good ones, and hell, they've got run out of the joint in Washtenaw County. Shout out to my brother, Ricky Jefferson. Ricky Jefferson is actually one of the more solid brothers that you're going to find in politics in Washtenaw County. And right now, he's not in any office right now. That's a tragedy. But his own folks in Ypsi worked against him to get him voted out so they could get Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Somerville in the joint. And they needed Annie in the joint because Annie worked with Jeff Irwin, who likes dumping off bags in Ypsi. I mean, he dumps off bags in other spaces, but he really likes dumping off bags in Ypsi. Your bag can go longer in Ypsi. You find the right squirrels looking for nuts, your bag can go long in Ypsi. And Jeff Irwin done found some squirrels over there looking for nuts. And he does the things that aren't going to move our needle, not one bit, but it looks good. And I get it. It looks good. And with Annie and Jeff working together, they had a two-headed monster there. So they worked diligently to get Ricky up out the paint because Ricky was about the upliftment and the betterment of Black folks, not only on the South Side. See, Ricky was a Washtenaw County Board of Commissioner. He was not just a South Side Board of Commissioner. He was a Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. Okay. But they wanted somebody to be the Board of Commissioner over just on the South Side. But that's not a possible thing. And Ricky held the South. Hell, Ricky still won the South Side. That's how strong Ricky was on the South Side. Ricky still won the South Side. He got beat in the election. That was Annie's backyard. That's where she spent all the time over there with Foley and all them other motherfuckers. You know, that's where Jeff Irwin comes, drops off the bag, you know, so they can fix up the parts and do all that stuff that they do. Because I'm not saying that they don't do shit. They do shit on the South Side. I get it. I get what they're doing. I'm just looking where the needle's being moved. It's just like when I talk about the supreme felons, you know, they gonna do what they gonna do. I like to see programs that you catch people before they get in trouble versus you always have to catch them after they got in trouble. Ain't nothing wrong with re-entering society, but how about we enter society the right way? We don't have to motherfucking re-enter the motherfucker. Did that make any sense? If you enter the society the right way, maybe you don't have to do something wrong and then exit and then have to re-enter. I like preventative measures, not reactive measures, and that's a reactive measure. But it's all good. Brother McGee in here. Ken McGee. I got you in here too. Don't think I ain't ready today, Ken. Bam. Bam. I'm in here today. Brother McGee saying hello to Brother Jefferson. But Ken McGee is running for sheriff, a decorated police officer. Law enforcement, executive law enforcement. He actually been boots on the ground. See, that's the one thing that we really don't have right now. Our sheriff was never boots on the ground. I mean, they've been on the ground, but they ain't been on the policing grounds. I think he did about 3 to 6 months in a squad car. I don't know what happened there, why he wasn't really on the street, but he was really just a turnkey in the jail. He was never a police, and that's why he handles things the way he handles them on a more of a corporate end versus on a law enforcement end. And all the stuff that he's learned through the years, I'm sure it's continuing education and seminars and training. And that's how he got his group, so he can teach other people how to be, police and whatnot. But my thing is, if we have real policing, I think we got a better shot at solving crimes and making people feel safe around the county. Frankly, a lot of people don't feel safe around the county, but it's covered up because the Washtenaw County Democratic Party is so deep off in Sheriff Clayton's ass that they don't really understand. But when things start happening that happen on the eastern side of the county, on the western side of the county, then they're going to wonder why. And I don't think anybody out here can solve that other than someone like Ken McGee. So I'm going to leave it at that. And we'll talk to Brother McGee down the line. We'll talk about his resume, his history. I'm going to go back and find that interview that I did with him when he ran last time. It was during Corvid. Not a good period for us. Real tough period to have ran that campaign, because he really couldn't get out and show people who he was, what he was about. And Jerry more or less moonwalked back into another tenure. And this is their last time out, and you got Derek Jackson and Alicia Dyer Vine also to be sheriff. Two people who Alicia has minimal policing experience. Derek has no policing experience. They're both social workers. And what I said, I want social workers social working. I want police policing. That's all. If I can get a social worker social working, I'm good. If I can get a police policing, I'm good. I don't need somebody doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be helping out folks. You're supposed to be helping out families. And I don't think that they're set to be able to run the county as the lead. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I get it, but I just like to just show my support. And I had McGee's slide up here ready because I was already going to say something about it, but he jumped the shark, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. He jumped the shark and said hello. And so I got him in there. What's up, Free to Free? But yeah, the ethnocide of Washtenaw County, we're going to get to that in a minute. But, there's a couple things. I always like to do a little housekeeping right at the beginning, get everything right. Freeze in here now. Please like the video. Absolutely. Please like the video. We definitely want you to share the video. All right. Ken put his stats up. He done put his stats in the chat. 30 years of experience combined with compassion and experience. Oh, okay. Bad guys gonna do bad. Good guys can only do good if they know the job. I get it. 30 years of experience. Between the two candidates, I don't think they have 20 years of experience. So you got two people that he's running against. They don't have 20 years of experience in policing. Now, I know they like to give Derek's time at the county. They like to give that credit to him as a policing, but Derek hasn't been police for 15 years. But he's been a social worker for the county for that long, And so they like to basically conflate. We talked about conflating things a couple days ago. They like to conflate Derek's stats. They like to inflate and conflate. But today we gonna separate. Okay, we not gonna inflate. We not gonna conflate. We gonna separate. Derek's experience as a police officer is zero. Derek has not been boots on the ground. He's been Rockports on the ground. He's been a community engagement officer. He goes out and gives those interviews when bad things happen. Answers very little to the public, to the community at large. But they like to give him his credit because they put that WCSO fleece on him, send him out there, have him stand there and answer questions as if he really knows what he's talking about. But no, I'm sorry, no. He don't even do that job that well. What do I need him running the county for? So it is what it is. Get all three of us on a panel, the better thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to talk to all three of you, but you know that's not going to happen. I can't get all three of y'all on the screen. I already know Derek's not going to take that call. Alicia, she may take the conversation. We've had good dialogue before. I don't have anything against Alicia. I have nothing against Alicia. Absolutely not. She knows who I support. It was cordial. We actually, I think we had a coffee. We had a coffee one day. So we talked, you know. Hey, it was a good dialogue. But I was very straightforward going, and I wouldn't bring her on like other people have brought her on their cast and then tell her that they support Derek Jackson. You know, nobody needs to know your views right then. You're supposed to be a host of a show. Do your show. Nobody needs to know your support, or at least wait till the end of the interview. Have some tact, have some class, have some couth. Or do they not teach you that in the correctional facilities anymore? Motherfucker, please. That's right. The villager's here. Well, I'm really not here, huh? I guess I'm really not here. So maybe what I'll do is I guess I'll just come up, you know, because I am here. You know, last couple casts I've done, I really haven't come up on the camera very much. And, you know, I'm just preferring to let my slides and my audio do the work. You know, y'all really don't need to see me. You know, if I go behind the scenes, but you still hear my voice, I'm still here. But just to let you know, I'm still here. You know, I'm still here. Yeah, you know he rocking Rockports. You know he rocking Rockports. Back in the day, he would have rocked Topsiders back in the day. You know. He would have rocked Topsiders back in the day. I had Docksiders back in the day. I'm from Ann Arbor. You know, we wore that shit. Docksiders, odds, khakis. You know, we wore that type of stuff. You know, and then it's so funny how the prep era germinated, and then people started wearing the stuff like through hip hop. We was wearing that in the 80s, and they started wearing it, you know, well after we did. Came back early 2000s, started trying to be all preppy. No, we did that already. We done with that. So, you know, we don't follow trends. We set trends around here. Come on now.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Absolutely. So, oh man, we definitely got to bring this brother back in. Much love, much respect to the great Harry Belafonte. Rest in power, brother. He was a writer. I know he wasn't an American freedman, but that makes me none on this. He stood for Black Americans. He stood for American freedmen. He stood for our ancestors who paved the way for him to be who he was on this soil. He stood strong. If we could get some of our Black American politicians to act like this brother who was from another soil, but came over here and basically dug his heels in to American culture. Being a Black man, he dug his heels into Black American culture, and he rode all the way out. We appreciate that. Come on now, you already know. I'll take you back down memory lane. That's what I'm saying. Get them at Sibley's, get them shoes at Sibley's. American Eagle, you know. And all kind of shoe stores had them topsiders, you know. So everybody started out wearing the brown with the top and the white. You know, by the time we got in high school, I mean, I had me like a cream pair, you know, with the white bottoms. I had the brown, I had tan, and, you know, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I even actually had some black ones. Never really wore them a lot, but I had some black ones with the white bottom. I didn't like them. Didn't wear those. And I had a pair of them karate shoes. I remember everybody wore them karate shoes. I didn't like them. I didn't like the way my feet looked in them. And I was in high school. So I definitely didn't wear them. He was a true rider, Free. You know, here talking with Dr. King. He said, you know, he was a crazy consultant for Dr. King because he came from such a different perspective. He could take Martin outside of that realm of where Martin had been in the clergy and in the streets like that. And he gave him a different outlook. You know, he also gave him some bread. He helped finance a lot of the civil rights movement back in the day. Harry Belafonte helped, I'm talking about finance, put real bread out in the street for the civil rights movement back in the day. So much love and respect to that king. Rest in power. This is still my favorite role that he played. The elder statesman, Mr. Geechee Dan Buford. Mr. Geechee Dan Buford in Uptown Saturday Night. One of his great performances. You know, my mother's favorite from him was Bucking the Preacher back in the day. But this right here, this literally just has me rolling every time I watch this movie. His first scene just, his first scene is crazy, man. So get a little something here popping here. Yeah. Brother Harry Belafonte, man. And had one of the coldest daughters out. Sherry Belafonte was cold in her day. Sherry Belafonte, all he did was put an S on it. He was Harry Belafonte. She was Sherry Belafonte. She was fine. Sherry Belafonte was fine back in the day. I don't know what she looks like now. I think she's still with us, right? I think she's still with us. Boy, if I saw Sherry walking down the street, come on now.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Yeah, Sherry was something else. She was something else. But yeah, rest in power to the king. Oh man, I tell you. This guy here, this guy here, I think he's moderately intelligent, so I can't call him stupid. And I'm not sure if he drinks alcoholic beverages or not, so I can't call him drunk. But he's fat. He's fat. He'd actually probably be considered morbidly obese. You know, that chart is kind of off, but it probably would work in his case. He's fat. He's got a big fat head. Some of y'all know who he is. Some of y'all don't. For the ones who know who he is, just bear with me because I got to get through this. Sometimes it comes a part of the cast where you got to have a little bit of a circus. And if you got a circus, you need a clown. And this is my clown for the day. This is my clown for the day. If you don't know who this is, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm tired of telling folks stuff. I'm just going to show y'all because I'm getting tired of just, I've been out here enough. I'm about to put a lot of things to bed. Let me go on and get this right. Bam. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to share this screen. We're going to get him up. We're going to get him up and in. We're going to get him up and in. There he is. Yeah, there he is. There's this clown. Here we go.
Some people that were talking about reparations in this country. They wanted reparations. And I remember I made this particular liberal so angry at me because I told them
what's going
right
on?
to their face, nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes. Why do you owe? Because somebody in those fields.
Man, sorry about the skipping.
Took stripes for you. Somebody after those fields were ended and slavery was ended.
This is raggedy.
Somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you. Somebody fought wars and died for you. Somebody lived less than because they didn't have what you have. And they did it for you. There are people in their graves right now, and they are there because they were willing to stand up and fight for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick, living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine. Carried American flags on that bridge. And when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching. And they did it for you. Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you. Because you've been the benefactor of freedom. You are the one that owes.
This clown. So I'm just going to go ahead and put his fat head back up here. I couldn't believe that he went into that. I mean, there's always going to be one. There's always going to be one that's going to jump off the cliff, right? We know this. There's always going to be one that's going to jump off the cliff. Tim Scott's been that for years. Tim Scott's been that for years. Now he's just coming in trying to be a fat Tim Scott. That's all he is right now, is a fat Tim Scott. Well, he's a fat Tim Scott wannabe. He's a lieutenant governor, and he's vying to be governor of North Carolina. North Carolina, y'all gonna vote this in? Coming in on the GOP side. You know what I mean? You only see black Republicans talk like this when they're on the GOP side. I'd love to see a Democrat say that black people owe reparations. I'd love to see. Let's see how fast their political career ends. Grand opening, grand closing. But he thinks that's a talking point for black Republicans, or hell, white Republicans. He's going to rile a few people up. But you're going to get more people that will say black people aren't owed reparations. Flat out, dog. Flat out. You're going to get people that are going to say black people aren't owed reparations, but you ain't going to find too many people that say black people owe reparations. You might get some people that say black people aren't owed any reparations, but you're not going to find too many that are going to say black people owe reparations. And he went out on that cliff. He went on that cliff that just literally baffled me. I'm like, damn, dog. How'd you come up with that one? I mean, were you sitting in your den? You called your wife in, baby, and just let you know his wife is black. I know a couple people have put it out there that his wife is not. No, his wife is black. You know, Because every clown like this is not married to a white woman. See, people that are really trying to uphold for black people and that are with white women or non-black women, they get ran. But then when somebody talks against black people, yeah, generally they're going to have a white spouse. It happens a lot. But no, he's got a black wife. He's got a black wife. I don't know if I can bring his wife up. I'll try. I might try. But yeah, he's got a black family. He's got a black family, all black family. I mean, they're black just because he's in it. But yeah. So there she is. Whoa, she had an abortion before they were married. Okay, I don't know how that all came about. But let me see. I mean, I got a screen share. And there it is. Here's his wife right here. So yeah, she black. She black. Says he paid for her abortion before they were married. But I thought he was GOP. I thought GOP was what do they call it? There's a catchphrase for it. Right for lifers? Something. What's their catchphrase? Free life, something like that. Said he paid for it over 33 years ago. Okay. She kept him around. She doesn't look happy about anything right now, that particular picture, but she's black. She's black. So I've had, my thing is to try to clear up any type of misnomers, untruths, things like that, because I don't want that on my streams. Hell, YouTube banned me for something somebody else said on my cast one day. I didn't even say it. Somebody else said it and they banned me. I'm like, damn, I can't control what another motherfucker say. I ain't in nobody else's head trying to, I mean, I realize I live rent-free in some people's heads, but I'm not putting words in nobody's mouth. I get it. Y'all got to get off of that stuff.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
So yeah. Big boy. He's just cruising. He's just cruising and he's trying to pick up some steam. But if he was in Texas, he was in Mississippi, maybe Louisiana, he might get somebody to come out and say, yeah, they owe reparations. They owe, but he's not going to get that in North Carolina. He's barking up the wrong tree with that. He's not going to get that. If he was deep South, they might be courageous enough to say black people owe reparations, but he ain't going to get nobody in North Carolina talking that shit. Absolutely not. Appreciate you, freak. So he can stop that now. That he needs to get another campaign slogan. He needs to get another campaign slogan because black people paying reparations, that's not really your way to the governor's mansion, bro. You're not gonna ride with that one. You need to give that one up expeditiously. Oh yeah. Yeah. Speaking of expeditiously, Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. Now we got to flip that around because they are no more. So now we've got Lemony Don and we've got Carson Tucker. I'm going to take the L. I'm going to take the L out of his name because Carson already took the L. They out of a job. They out of a job. Or I guess that would be jobs. Damn, dog. How you gonna get fired on your day off? Both of them got fired the same day. That's almost like that was strategic, dog. You had an ultra liberal and you had an ultra conservative, and they both got fired on the same day. There's something there. Jobs. Jobs. Both got let go. CNN, Fox said, nah, we don't need y'all around here no more. Go and get. Get you a couple boxes. Your key cards have already been deactivated. Get all the shit you can get and get on up out of here. Now. Actually, Don he wasn't even at the spot. His agent called him, told him he wasn't. Hey man, don't go to work. What do you mean? Don't go into that office. He was trying to save it. He was trying to save Don from some public ridicule. Because if Don would have went in, Don would have probably been able to get let in. Somebody would have seen Don and been coming out like, hey, Don, how you doing? Wouldn't have even known Don was fired. Don could have schmoozed his way in. He'd have got into the CNN Plaza, went to Starbucks, got him some coffee, walked around, talked to a few people, And when he got up to the CNN door, somebody would have been coming out. They wouldn't have known that Don got fired. They'd have just let Don in. Don would have went on in, unassuming, thinking everything was good. I mean, yeah. He didn't put all of his light-skinnedness to usage. He should have put more into his light-skinnedness. He didn't do that. He wasn't really, really good. He was supposed to be like Brian Gumbel. I mean, all he had to do was pattern himself after Brian Gumbel, and he'd have been tight on CNN. I've always liked Brian Gumbel's delivery. Yeah, he did. Always. He always brought the story back around, to himself. And he's a pretty much boring guy. Don Lemon's when you look at Don, he's just a boring guy. He's like that guy that plays the roles that Denzel don't want in the movies. He looks just like Denzel, but he don't look like Denzel. He's like just off from Denzel, and he gets all the roles that Denzel don't want. He was the All-State guy. He was Whitney Houston's dude in Stella. He's just a plain black dude. He got pipes though. The dude, he's got a crazy voice. He's done a lot of voiceover things. Yeah. I like that word, inartful. I've never used that word before. Inartful. That better be a real word, too. You got me up here saying that shit, and that doesn't win anyone over. I'm looking that word up. I'm looking inartful over. It better be a real word. And that dumbass Rick Ross gonna offer Don. See, this is the thing, man. I ain't gonna lose no sleep over Don Lemon getting fired, but Rick Ross offered him a job. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I mean, you might not like his political stance and the way he delivered and things like that. And we all had our beef with Don on that shit. But why would you disrespect him? This is the thing. You don't do this shit when you got company. And right now we got company. Let him go off and do his thing. And then when he fills out the error of his ways and he comes back and be like, okay, I'm ready to be for y'all. Fuck this Democratic Party. They didn't do shit for me. I'm ready to ride for y'all. That's the only way Don's going to make a full comeback, so he rides for the folks. That's the only way. Inartful, awkwardly expressed, but not necessarily untrue. I like that. I like that. Ill phrase, inexpedient quotation. I like that. Inartful. That was a real word. Well, I see inartful. Did you mean unartful? Because that's a word too. Yeah. He didn't know how to kick it up a notch. He had to kick it up a notch. And, you know, when he did like them New Year's Eve balls, that's the Don Lemon we should have had on the air. Don should have been bringing the funk like he brought it on New Year's Eve. Yeah, he was kind of dry on the air. No, you were right. You were right. I looked it up already. I like that definition, though. I'm going to have to use that one day. Awkwardly expressed, but not necessarily untrue. Sounds political. Sounds political. So, what I want to talk about in this ethnocide of Washtenaw and for anybody that was waiting for me to say anything about Carson Tucker, I don't care that he got fired. Bye. That's all I got on that one. Bye. People have spent too much time talking about him. No. He got all the shine he got in that picture right there. We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to spend 20, 30 minutes on him. I wasn't going to spend that on Don. I just had to acknowledge it because it's in the cycle. But so is ethnocide. A lot of people don't understand what ethnocide is. And I got that definition here. Give me one quick second. Ethnocide, the deliberate and systematic destruction of the culture of an ethnic group. The deliberate and systematic, not systemic, systematic destruction of the culture of an ethnic group. And I feel like that has happened in Washtenaw County. I believe there has been a deliberate and systematic destruction of the culture of Black Americans in Washtenaw County, specifically in Ann Arbor. Ipsy's lost its way as well. No, we don't do that. Ipsy's lost its way as well. And no other city has been densely populated with Black people, maybe other than Milan, in Washtenaw County. Not your Salines, not your Chelseas, not your Dexters, not your Whitmore Lakes. So outside of Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti, Milan is the only other territory that I've known to be densely populated with Black folks. And it really wasn't densely populated. There's just a lot of Black people lived out there at one time. And I still think they got their own, their still faction of Black folks. So that's cool. But yeah, man, it's been happening and it's political. And I'm not out here to talk about the Washtenaw County Democratic Party. I'm not out here to talk about the Washtenaw County GOP. I don't care about political parties right now. I care about a faction of people that has been deliberately and systemically destroyed in Washtenaw County. That's ethnocide. Why other people aren't concerned with this, I don't know. But we vote for our own erasure all the time. And we'll live and dwell in our own erasure all the time. This happens all the time. It does. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal because it happens all the time. We literally will root for our own destruction. We will root for it. Shout out to the young brother who just decided to go to the NBA draft I wish him well. Imani Bates worked hard as a youngin' to become what he is today. And he's put his name in that NBA draft ring. And hey, hopefully it is called. Hopefully he makes an NBA team and he lives out his dream. They absolutely do. We are profitable. We are profitable destroying ourselves or being destroyed. It's a profit. People make money off of our destruction. They make money. They make money off of our destruction. And y'all think I just be sitting up here thinking about this shit and it's like it is, and no. They make money off our destruction, bro. And for some, they don't believe that. So some people feel like, oh, all you got to do is work hard. You just got to work hard. You just got to go to school. You just got to keep your nose clean. Remember old folks used to tell you, just keep your nose clean and you'll be all right. I know a lot of people with clean noses, broke as a motherfucker, just ain't in my mind. In my mind. So the way I look at things, I know you got to do more out here than just work hard, go to school, and keep your nose clean. They raise the taxes and squeeze us out. Then they sell it at a low. Now guess what? It's worth. Yeah. I mean, people want to talk about gentrification, but gentrification didn't just happen because white folks decided to move in. People got priced out of the game. They got priced out of the game. And if you were ignorant in that sphere, and I could say I was ignorant in that sphere, I was one of those people who sold grandma's house because you used that money to take care of grandma. But if I had to do it all over again, I'm not fucking selling that house. And I advise anybody that has a chance to do that, don't sell the house. If it's in a place that is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow, don't sell the house. Just don't sell it. Another truth from John Henry. It's not about who you know, it's what you know. And unfortunately, most of us don't know what we need to know. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And that contributes. That's like throwing a log on a fire for someone that's already trying to destroy you. When you don't know what you're doing, you are done. Because you have to do, you got to live, you got to survive. But if you really don't know what you're doing out here, you're rooting for your own erasure. You're rooting for your own erasure. And I get it. So I really just wanted to make this an entry to talk about, because when I grew up, they called this place a melting pot. Quite diverse. Not to say that it's not diverse now. There's a difference, though. It was a diverse collective of people who, for the most part, understood and lived with each other in a harmonious way. Now there's just a bunch of people from a bunch of different places, and they've been placed in this city, and the people that have been here the longest are more or less squeezed out or squeezed to the edges if they're able to survive. And that's why I made this thumbnail what it was. Yeah, some people are going to say it's a little bit dramatic, but when you think about Washtenaw County and you think about the biggest venue in Washtenaw County, biggest venue is Michigan Stadium. It's one of the biggest stadiums in the world, so obviously it's the biggest venue. But there's not enough Black Americans in Washtenaw County to fill Michigan Stadium. There's not enough. What did they say? We're about 14. So let me go here. 389. So about 54,000. Hold on. Uh-oh. I did that wrong. Hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, about 55,000 people. 54.4 it says. So we're going to go it up a little bit. 55,000. That's half of Michigan Stadium. So I could have literally stretched that picture and made it crop into half of Michigan Stadium, and the rest of it would be everybody else. But the county has 400,000 people in it. Here we go. Here we go with Tim Grandin. Here we go with Tim Grandin. He rolled over off his boyfriend to come make a comment on my stream. He rolled off of his little boyfriend to come make a comment on my stream. You have been embarrassed about your blackness since you don't know me. You don't know me. Tim Grandin. Or maybe you do know me, and maybe I do know you, and I know you like boys. Are you in your truck today, Tim Grandin? Not the semi truck, not the pickup truck. You in your semi truck? You at a truck stop? You know, I just watched There's Something About Mary a couple of days ago, and when it was at the truck stop, I thought of you, Tim. I thought of you with your lover. I thought of you with your lover. Here we go with another one that says I act black. How do I act black? I don't get that. I mean, I get beat up because I got a woman that's not black. I get beat up because I got kids that are half black. But I'm acting black. Wouldn't that be acting white? Oh, because I wear black clothing. Oh, I get it. I get it. He don't like it because I wear black clothing. Sorry, Tim. Damn. Well, your boyfriend probably waiting for you to go make a sandwich, Tim. Go make a sandwich. Go make your boyfriend a pita and lettuce sandwich. Because I know you like them little ones. Fat boy. Fat boy. Hey Tim, I'll throw you the link. You want to come up on the stream? I'll throw you the link. I'll throw you the link, fat boy. Come on in. What'd you say? Snow Boo. Yeah, man. People take it upon themselves to try to troll me. That's the last thing you really want to do, bro. That's the last thing you really want to do. And you keep saying we know each other, but you won't reveal your face. But I think I know who you are. And since I know who you are, I don't need to see your face. I've seen your fat face for the last time I've seen you. So it don't matter to me. You talk about, yeah, it takes a lot for you to act black. Nigga, it don't take a lot for me to act black. Just like it don't take a lot for you to act white. All I got to do is read a book, and that's acting black. You look over at Pierre, your little boyfriend, that's acting white. Get your ass up off my motherfucking stream, motherfucker. Punk ass sissy. So it is what it is. I don't know why he chose today free. Today ain't the day free. Today ain't the day. We just breaking into the introduction of this ethnocide of Washtenaw County. And as we've seen businesses, we've seen residents, we've seen kids leave the school system in Ann Arbor. things have started to change in Ypsilanti. Still more black businesses, way more black businesses in the city of Ypsilanti than there are in Ann Arbor or any other part of the county. So, you know, much love to the people doing good business in Ypsilanti Township. You know, any black folks out here doing good business, I really want to make sure that they definitely get the pub, because I really don't like saying support black businesses. I mean, I do, but I don't. Well, you know, Tim would probably say that I do because I want to act black. I want to act black, dog. I want to act word up, jive turkey. I mean, you know, I got to act black. Give me some skin on the black hand side. Come on now. Acting black. Now, that's somebody else's cast. You can watch somebody else's cast if you want to see all that jive turkey. That's my main man. That's my main man. That's my man. No, that's somebody else's cast. I don't do that shit over here. Because see, acting black to me is acting intelligent. So I'm not sure exactly what you think acting black is, Tim. That's why you so dumb. Because I wear black clothing. I wear black clothing. You think that makes me act black? Okay, I got you. Put your punk ass on. Whole ass couldn't keep a woman. Now you done flipped over the boys. Just go stay with them boys, dog. You dig, sucker? You jive turkey. Boy, I tell you, y'all can act a fool sometime, and then you make a fool come out. You looking for a nigga here now. Come on now. Fuck out of here. Get back to business. Oh, I can't say business because that sounds too much like black. When you say business. No, I do business. I don't do business. That was a play on words too there, Tim. See, I'm good at that. You're not good at that because you still read books with pictures. Fuck out of here. All right. Where were we? Oh, we were talking about ethnocide. That's right. Then I had to talk about Timicide. You know, had to kill Tim just like they killing black folks in Washtenaw County. Deliberately and systemically. It is what it is. So, looking into like how people have left this county, it's all politically set because politicians can really help dictate your local politics way better than they can dictate the national stuff for you. It's not the national politics. We know this. Don't help us. But what's really going to move our needles out here are our local politics. And where we are as a faction of people, we primarily vote Democratic, and Democrats in Washtenaw County have done a lot of detrimental stuff. Lot of detrimental stuff. And just based on what Democrats are, I get why they've done it, but how come we can't get no politicians with a spine to go against that? Because when you get brothers like Ricky Jefferson who speak about the betterment of his people, because those are the people that have got him elected, how come he gets ousted for mayonnaise? Because you got gatekeepers rocking with mayonnaise. Now, I didn't call Jeff Irwin mayonnaise because actually I think Jeff Irwin's a pretty cool dude. But as far as Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? No. That's mayonnaise. That's mayonnaise. That might not even be real mayonnaise. It might be like Miracle Whip. I think it is probably like Miracle Whip. She's over there on the south side cracking a whip with Jeff Irwin's bag. Time to get that part clean. Anyways, I've just seen too many L's taken by Black Americans in Washtenaw County. And when you get Black Americans who politic in Washtenaw County and they don't fight for, you know, because I don't want to hear reparations in Washtenaw County, even though I am up for that position on the task force. Not that they'll probably bring me on. I get it. I understand. I expect for them actually not to bring me on. That's why, you know, I'm not going to speak negatively about it, but Why would you want me on your task force talking about reparations when I've already said, basically, I know that the county or the state can't give us real reparations, but there can be acts of atonement. We're going to do some real work. If we're going to do it, let's do it. If we're going to mix this thing up, let's mix this thing up. I really don't think they really want to do anything. And I think because if it came out of the brain trust of Ricky Jefferson, and now that Ricky's not on the board of commissioners, I think things have changed a bit. I think the ideology of what that is has changed a bit. And I don't want to see mediocre situations happen for these people and have them think they're getting something and they're not getting anything that moves their needle. If you're doing something, it should be moving the people in this county's needle, descendants of American chattel slaves in this county, not Black people, not African Americans, not POC, not BIPOC, not minorities, not indigenous people. Descendants of American chattel slaves. That's who qualify for the acts of atonement. That's who qualify for it. No one else. But I have a feeling that they're going to shoehorn people in here, and it's not going to be a good situation. I just believe it. I think that there's a lot of people that are not focused on what it could mean if a faction of people, because there's more in Ypsilanti, in Ypsi Township, than there is in Ann Arbor. So, like, let's say that the faction of people in Ypsilanti were, if qualified, can qualify for a home loan, not a lease. We're not renting. We're not rent to owning. We're talking about getting a mortgage, getting a deed, getting an actual deed. What if that could happen for every descendant of an American chattel slave in Ypsi and Ypsi Township? Now, everybody's not going to get, it's not going to be like a line and go, okay, mortgage. Oh, you got to find the house. But most of all, you got to qualify for the mortgage, because you just can't hand it out. You got to qualify for the mortgage, or somehow it goes into some type of zone where that is your thing for you. What if you have two people in that house, a husband and a wife, and they both qualify? If they want to, they can take their qualifications, put them together, because that's going to give them a little bit of money, help with the downstroke. You need a down payment, closing costs, yada, 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 whatever. That's going to help with that. But these are acts of atonement. These are things to help people, because national reparations is a totally different beast. It's a totally different beast. But acts of atonement locally, when they're calling it reparations, they're going to come by way of a lot of things dealing with, housing, possibly education, employment. And I would think that they're talking about pulling descendants of American chattel slaves to the front of the line versus saying you stand in the line and you'll get what's left. No, pulling them to the front. That's what an act of atonement is. You're pulling them up, just like you've pulled these other ethnicities up. You're going to pull them forward because it's an act of atonement. It's your reparative justice locally. So that's what I'm looking for. And we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I've talked to some people, some elders, and they've said, look, your mindset is right on where you need to be because you understand the reality of it. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be out here like Dr. Darity saying that, Washtenaw County needs to give us $350,000 per man, because I know that can't happen. Washington, D.C., that'd be somewhere else to talk about that happening. Let's go to D.C. and talk about that 350. But as far as Washtenaw County, we need to be talking There could be a financial, a monetary stipend, but I'm concerned about the moving of the needle. And I think the first way you move the needle for us, the most immediate way you can move the needle is building generational wealth, getting a deed to a house. Getting a deed to a house will instantly start to build generational wealth. Your kids, your family can get that house, can keep that house. So when you expire, they don't have to move. When you expire, they don't have to move. That's a problem. That's a problem far too many times. And you can't fight it. I get it. You know how many elders have died and they didn't own their own home, and literally their family had to be out of there in 30 days. 30 days of them expiring, that family gets wiped out of the home that they were raised in because Big Mama and Big Papa didn't buy the house. They rented all them years. We got to change that. That needs to be changed. It's not just in my mind, I tell you.
In my mind.
So, I mean, with Joe Biden and Kamala and all these people, you know, vying to get right back in your midst for another 4 years. For another 4 years. Oh, here we go. Anyway.
You okay? So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Fair use. Y'all know I don't own this. Stop acting like I do. So I done had, in 2 days, I done had Joe Biden, Kamala, Jill Biden, now Doug. I got the second husband. I got the second husband texting me now, looking for money. Because Joe done said he running again. Well, walking again, or whatever the hell he doing again. I mean, Is Kamala gonna put this out here this time?
Do you support reparations for Black people? Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country, right?
Right. You always know when she's lying when she says, listen. let's be clear. When Kamala says, listen, you already know she about to lie. And after she says what she says, she will, let's be clear about that. After she gives you a whole bunch of fucking mumbo jumbo, then she'll be like, let's be clear about that. And she's the most unclear person out. But she's like, let's be clear about that. Like, I wish I could be. I really wish I could be clear about what you just said. But what you said was a whole bunch of bullshit. So we can't be clear on what you just said because you weren't clear on what you just said. So no. She could have skipped all that and just said this.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
That's all she needed to do. She didn't need to go through that other 2 minutes and 1 second. That took 2 minutes and 5. She could have saved 2 minutes and 1 second and just said that. Just saying this.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
She let us know exactly who she was at that point. And her campaign was pretty much kaput. It was pretty much kaput. Yeah. Once we got that, she got the boot. Ran out of bread. People started quitting. Yeah, it was a bad scene. It was a bad scene. It was bloody, dog. She was running, then she was walking, then she was on the couch. Next thing you know, Joe said, hey, need a vice president. You got Stacey Abrams' number? Nah, Stacey can't get it either. Stacey can't get it either. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. So I'm gonna go over this a couple times before Juneteenth, but I did want to make sure that y'all do understand this lack of consciousness about Juneteenth colors is really getting kind of irritating. I mean, I don't say conscious this, conscious that, because frankly, I don't really consider myself conscious. I'm not a 100% vegan. I got a woman that's not an American freedman. I got beige kids. My grandkids is darker because, they a little blacker just by default, da-da-da-da-da. But, I can't be conscious. The conscious community only want blackity, black, 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 black. You got to be a black man, black woman, black kid, black this, black that, black car, black shoes, black socks, black drawers. Whatever. How about this? How about I never betray my people? How about I hold my people down? How about I continue to pursue moving the needle well before the needle can get moved? Because you got to have a plan to move the needle. So I'm always going to be in pursuit of that. And I'll always have a plan. How about I do that? How about not all that other stuff? That's what y'all want to call a conscious person. Y'all live and die with them people. Most of them people, the biggest frauds out. Yep. But I'm going to let y'all live with that. But I need what y'all to do is to live with this. Get rid of that red, black, and green shit for Juneteenth. You understand me? Y'all fucking with that red, black, and green shit for Juneteenth. You clowns. You are real clowns out here with the red, black, and green. Red, black, and gold. Red, black, and green, and gold. That's clown shit. It's right in your face. The star represents Texas, the freedom and new beginnings of the American freedmen in all 50 states. The arc represents the new horizon, the opportunities and promise that lay ahead for the American freedmen. The date, June 19th. That's why we celebrated June 19th. 1865 represents the day the freedmen in Galveston were notified of their freedom. We still know that there was people still in Joe Biden's state of Delaware in December of 1865. So Joe and his people still on the clock for that. The colors mirror the American flag's colors, red, white, and blue. I'm not sure why this has to be debated, argued, ignored, but to keep going to red, black, and green, Pan-Africanist colors, red, black, and green and gold, Pan-Africanist colors, y'all clowns look stupid. You actually look dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And Washtenaw County got a couple Juneteenth festivals happening, and all they got up is red, black, and green. I'm gonna get them slides. I'm gonna put them on the next stream. The next time we do a ethnocide, this is what's helping the ethnocide. Ignorance, general ignorance. This is the Juneteenth flag, the actual Juneteenth flag, not a Pan-Africanist flag. Oh, yeah. Not a Pan-Africanist flag. Red, black, and green don't rock on Juneteenth. That's not the flag of freedom. It's not the flag of the freedmen. I don't know why we got to keep going through this mess. Y'all just won't listen. Y'all keep listening to them activist, them Pan-Africanist. Activist, Pan-Africanist. Yeah, here. Look at Kamala. Hold on.
Yourself, how anyone could stand in the way of this woman becoming president of the United States.
You know, when we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community. And so what we all experience is on an electric school bus, on an electric bus, no exhaust, no diesel smell. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree. This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't think that, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers.
She, her, and her.
She would look down at me and come, what do you want? What do you want? And I looked back up at her and I said, freedom! You're gonna literally put craters on the moon with your own eyes. With your own eyes, I'm telling you. We must together, work together to see where we are headed, but also see it as a moment, yes, to together. It is the perspective of a woman who grew up a Black child in America, who was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, you know.
She'll never say nothing about her daddy. She just said her mama got here, but she don't say nothing about her daddy. This is another reason why I came back up off of Kamala. She don't never say nothing about Mr. Harris. That's why I want her using the name, Kamala Emhoff. That's all she is to me, Kamala Emhoff.
Hip hop? Like, what do you want to know?
What do you want to know? She's unbelievable. You would deny that person a chance to serve? That is the person the Democratic insiders are tonight, ladies and gentlemen, trying to remove from the public stage. And if no one else will say it, we will. It's wrong. Despite appearances, Kamala Harris is not a disposable consumer product. She's a pioneer. Do you know what
I didn't hear no more of him. And neither did Fox. Fox had all they could take. They're like, we got to let him go. We got to let him go. Abruptly. How did he not see it coming? He was high enough up in the company where he should have known he was going to get whacked. Instead, it caught him by surprise. Caught him by surprise. Okay. I just seen something that's kind of disturbing to me, but anyway. Okay. In the next episode, I really want to dig deeper into the causes We know what's what. We know how we've lost our way here in Washtenaw. And we're learning. We're going to learn more. But the main thing is what I want to find out from people, if they know about when Washtenaw County was an awesome place for the Black entrepreneur, Black businessman, Black professional, Black everyday worker, admin, plant worker, city worker. It was a great day. We had some promise in this town. We'll talk about that. So I want to definitely get into that. But let's leave on a high note, even though it's a low situation. Please understand, these things are not going to stop until we stop them. An Oklahoma pastor slammed for wearing blackface and a Jerry curl wig says he was honoring Ray Charles. I'm going to let this marinate. This is the disrespect. It's in Oklahoma. It's not Washtenaw County. I don't want people in Washtenaw County to think that I'm saying this is Washtenaw County. That's why I kept the caption. Oklahoma pastor slammed for wearing blackface and Jerry curl wig says he was honoring Ray Charles. This stuff still goes on in 2023. And it's nowhere near one of the most detrimental acts, because we know what those are. But this is still an insult that is only hurled at Black Americans. You ever seen a Black man do whiteface just to imitate? You ever seen a Black man imitate John Bon Jovi? Just put a whole bunch of white shoe polish on his face and get a 6-string on his back. And just say he's John Bon Jovi. A long, brown, straight wig. Just say he's John Bon Jovi. You ever seen a Black man do that? You ever seen anybody do any other ethnic group the way people do Black Americans? This is embarrassing. It's insulting. Nobody is treated on this planet the way we are as a collective. Dishonoring Ray. Dishonoring Black Americans. Dishonoring Black America. I feel confident when I say Black America because I had a debate with a friend one day and he says, why do you say Black America? There's only one America. I was like, no, there's two Americas, buddy. There's two Americas. There's the America you live in. There's the America I live in. Now, obviously, we walk in the same soil. Hell, at that time, we worked in the same building. I was like, but you live in one America and I live in another. We could do the same exact job, but the results are going to be different. And they'll never be equal. Once I broke all that down to him, he left it alone. He left it alone. Hey, he's a pastor. Who's going to fire him? God? He's the pastor of the church, free. Who's going to fire him? Jesus? You know, Jesus. What's Jesus going to do? You going to take his pastoral rights against, away from him. He probably did this in the church. This was probably done in the church, Free. Think about it. Probably did all this in the church. So it is what it is. But it is what it is. Much respect again to Ken McGee. Ken McGee, a name that you will hear more and more of as we work our way to next August. It's the primary. Got to come out of that if you want to go into something else. So we're going to talk more on ethnocide in Washtenaw. We're going to talk about it. And there's only one faction of people that have dealt with systemic ethnocide in Washtenaw County. And it just so happens to be the same faction of people that deal with it all over the country. So it'll be easy for us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I misread that. Yeah. I misread that. Yeah, you were saying if a brother had did it, definitely. Yeah. Unemployed, man, outcast. Yeah. Yeah, they might have checked him out. They might have checked him out. They might have went to check him out, and then they went to check him out. Brother might have not made it past that. Don't imitate John Bon Jovi or Bruce Springsteen. Those are American cult icons. Don't insult the boss. Don't insult the boss. Bruce. What's up with that? When you hear white dudes say Bruce Springsteen, why do they voice get deeper when they say that? They be like, Bruce. Are they trying to imitate Bruce Spring? Because Bruce Springsteen has that gravelly voice. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I guess I can end with this. I'm going to take it back to the ethnocide so we can have that as a close-out slide. But this right here, y'all pretty much done it. Y'all pretty much done it. You done done it. You done done it. Y'all damn near done turned the Catch Me Outside girl into a full-fledged black young lady. When she started, she was white with red hair. Now she is a full-fledged sister. What have you done? What have you people done with this culture to make someone do that? Look how pale that girl was. Look how pale she was. And now her skin is golden. Her skin is golden. What y'all done? I mean, I thought I had seen it all when I seen the Kardashian girls and how they could flip the script. But this girl right here, Catch Me Outside, she ain't Catch Me Outside no more. She's Cash Me Outside. Cash me. She's Cash Me Outside. Cash me on the black hand side. Shit. What are you talking about, Free? Rock on, dude. Bruce. That's probably Timmy like, Bruce. Tim Grandin, Bruce. Him and his little boyfriend, Pierre. Anyways, Cash Me Outside is now Cash Me Outside. They said old dudes was jumping in her OnlyFans page, man. She's what, 18, 19? Come on, fellas. Come on, fellas. She's like, they all need to be in jail because they was just waiting for me to turn 18. I'm like, she's probably got a point there, to be honest with you. That's the unfortunate thing. She's probably right about that. She's probably right about that. They were probably waiting for her to turn 18 so they could check it out. Where's her parents at? Where's her parents at this point? She's probably the benefactor of that family. All right. Well, yeah, she probably financially takes care of the family with that OnlyFans bread now. Little harlot. Cash me outside on the black hand side. Whatever. Whatever, girl. So we'll get number 2 in soon, because I really want to move this along, because I know some people aren't going to agree with it, but that's why I do what I do. Not to be disagreeable, but some people just don't see the things, but some people don't know. Some people don't know the histories. We're going to dig into some Black American history in Washtenaw County and then talk about how the vacuum has happened and the systemic and deliberate erasure has happened, to where if they in Washtenaw County, a lot of people look just like the people in this picture. And the ones who made it out, they might be doing a little bit better because their nuts a little smaller. Washtenaw County has literally priced thousands of Black Americans out the game. Oh, see, I didn't know they were still like, is she like a reality star or something? I don't know what she is. I don't really keep up with her. Cash Me Outside was, she was a meme to me. I didn't mess with that. And she got famous on Dr. Phil. A lot of people getting famous on Dr. Phil. People talking against reparations getting famous on Dr. Phil. Shout out to Dr. Sandy Darity, who was on Dr. Phil, held his own, held 10 toes down. I like that. Dr. Darity got a little fiery that day. I like when Dr. Darity gets fiery. When Dr. Darity gets fiery, that lets me know that the discussion is real. Because he don't get into a lot of discussions. He don't fuck with a lot of y'all. Because y'all do dumb shit. Y'all drag his name into stuff that it shouldn't be dragged in. That's an economist. He is a scholar. He don't need to be getting in y'all little Twitter space beefs and shit and podcast beefs. That man needs to stay in a certain space in this place. Y'all be trying to drag his name into stuff that don't even matter. It's like a fight that doesn't need a referee. Don't be dragging Dr. Darity's name into it. You don't need no referee. And even if you do need a referee, you don't need Dr. Darity as a referee. Go get Mark Lamont Hill or somebody like that. You don't need Dr. Darity. Whatever. But yeah, we'll get back at it. And episode 2, we're going to jump into some things specifically. Name some names. We'll name names because those people deserve to be reintroduced. They deserve to be reintroduced because some of the things that people have done in this city, Black Americans, is really not acknowledged. Y'all know that? Y'all know there's a lot of things that people have done in this city, Black Americans, and it's not acknowledged. That's why I want that park named after Ara Rosser. That park needs to be named after our roster. But yeah, we're gonna get at it. We're gonna reintroduce some people to Washtenaw County.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get it.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
And these people aren't asking for it. Their families aren't asking for it, but history is asking for it. We've got to bring the narrative current before we can move it forward. It is what it is. Okay, so that's what she a reality star. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. She did. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all checking this out, checking anybody out on the playback. Y'all mean just the same to me too. Y'all got to know that. Y'all mean it's just the same to me. But people that catch the live and stay all the way through, y'all attached. Y'all attached, and I appreciate that. Appreciate all the support, and we'll keep that moving. I didn't even throw up the support links. I'll end the stream with it, just to have it up there. But I appreciate any support on the Cash App, on the PayPal, at Friedman Media on both. And I think that's just about it. I think I got everything in that I needed to get in on this thing. But where are we at here? Okay, I get it. So yeah. Systemic and deliberate. And we'll show you how it happened. And of course, I'm going to bring some guests on and they're going to be able to talk about some histories. And I'd really like to get an elder on. I'm going to hit her up today because she knows a lot about this county, Ann Arbor specific, Ypsi specific. That's really the only place you really got to know about Black Americans in Washtenaw County. I know I said Milan, and I ain't going to let them out, but ain't nobody from Milan listening, because anybody from Milan listening, they should have checked in already and should have said Milan stand up. But they did not, because ain't nobody in Milan listening. It's all good. It's all good. But I want it to be good in your hood. And your hood don't necessarily have to be the hood. Wherever you live, wherever you choose to lay your head needs to be good. And it should be in Washtenaw County if you're an American freedman. One love.
This revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a word, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
I know that ain't who I think it is. Allow me to reintroduce myself. In my mind.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
One love.
I know that ain't who I think it is.